Okay, so here's where it's going to go into. There's an O-ring right here that I'm going to pull out and put in a new one. This one looks in good shape, but I've got a new one, so I'm going to put that in. And there's an O-ring that goes here, I believe. There's a gasket that goes on here, and then the motor drops in on top of it. I checked these bolts just to make sure, since I've got it out, and according to my book, they're supposed to be 35 foot-pounds, and they were not. This one was a little bit loose. Maybe it was at 10, maybe. All of them were a little bit loose, so they're all snug back down to 35 foot-pounds. And yeah, I pulled the mufflers out just so I had more room to work on and clean back there. Just put them back in. I might have to adjust the angle of that exhaust port. There's one on that side. And I probably have to adjust that one. It's kind of pointed down, but yeah. Looks like my strap needs to be adjusted too. That oil tank is going to come out because I'm not going to use it. Save weight. And my tank is more than half full. 3-year-old gas. So I'm going to pump all that out because I'm going to go pre-mix, so it'll have to be mixed anyway. So I'm going to pump that out, run it through my garden tractor, I guess. So yeah, I think I'm about ready to drop that motor in. I did a video showing how to connect this lifting eye, and here's my new nut and washer down there. I was talking about my old nut and washer. Where is it? It's up here in the Hall of Shame. The washer, I'm sure this is the one that came with it, but it's much thinner. Probably half as, 2/3 as thin as the one that's in there, the new one. So I ordered a new one. The nut, yep, I'm sure it would have worked, but just to be safe, I've got a new nut, new washer. So yeah, I did torque that down to, I don't know, it's probably 30 or 40 foot-pounds right now. I've got to find something to hold the, they make a tool that holds the flywheel from spinning, so you can crank it down. And just wanted to show you guys that I did put the nut, because if that nut wasn't there, you go to lift this up, that flywheel will come popping off. And if you're underneath it, that would be a bad day. Well, you're probably 300 pounds. That'd crush you. Or at least hurt a whole lot. So here's my waste. Harbor Freight special. Bought it years ago. You don't use it every day, but every once in a while, it's handy. Wow, resin. Hold on a second. Set this up here. It's too high. It's stuck on a little. I've got the motor sitting on a block. It's fairly steady, but I wouldn't trust it now sitting by itself. Put this guy on there too, just to hold it. There we go. Alright, so there's two things holding it. It's kind of, let's say, precarious, but yeah, it's not super steady. So it's nice to have 2 points of contact to hold it, or 3 points. Okay guys, being very careful. First of all, to keep my hands out of the way in case this thing crashes, and then trying to move it very slowly, just so it doesn't come off that chain. Probably should use 2 people to do this, but I don't have anybody to help me right now, so I'm gonna do it myself. Maybe I'll change. Don't have the clearance. I need the vector. Looks like enough. Oh man, it's not gonna fit underneath my trailer. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this way. Just hit the trailer. Spot this way. This is going to be a trick. It is right tight against the back of my boat. I don't have the reach. If I turn it sideways, if I move it, oh my gosh. This thing doesn't have enough reach. What the heck? Alright, I gotta figure something else out. Alright, I've been going little by little and pushing it out as I go, because as it drops, this angle's coming down, so it should go a little bit more this way. Don't know if I'll have enough or not. Just going, I don't want to smash my stuff here, but so far, I think we're okay. Let's move it out of the way. See where we're at here. It's not bad. There's not too much pressure there. I think I can keep dropping it. Am I looking for clearance on the other side? Right. Got about a foot to go before it hits the adapter. I don't know if that's gonna be enough or not. I'll crush my hand, but I don't think there's a lot of weight there. It's not too much pressure there. I don't know, guys. Before I get it all the way down, there's an O-ring that I got to replace down there, so I'm going to replace that, and I got to put the gasket on yet too, so you can see what's in there. Can you see down there? Yeah. Alright, so I have an O-ring in here that I got to replace, and there's another O-ring there, so I got to go grab that and put the gasket in there. Okay, this might be a trick putting this back in. I had it in there, but I don't know, I didn't want to get it scratched. Took it out. Now, put it back in. I can't see where it goes. I have to raise the engine back up. Hold on. Hitting my drop cloth here. Alright. handy Home Depot step stool. Maybe I don't need it. No. There it is. Okay, that's in there. O-rings are in there. All right. About 6 inches, 8 inches to go. Bleed lines are getting in the way. Still got a ways to go yet. No, I don't. What did I get? I just stripped something. One of the studs. Gosh, it doesn't seem high enough yet. Oh, you know what? Oh. The bottom of that. I gotta get that over some way. Could I make an extension? Crud buckets. Okay, I'm not gonna show you how I modified my hoist, but I extended it about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches. I tested it. I think it's fine. But I'm not going to give you guys any ideas. You're going to have to come with it on your own. Will that fit in there without hitting? Man. I've only got about an inch before it hits the studs. It's hitting right there. Dang. That is, how in the world do you get that in there? Guess I take the oil tank off? I guess. I won't bore you with me taking the oil tank off. It's hitting there. But once I get it sideways, I can drop it down more, but it's hitting the studs. There's a part, I don't know what you call it, the adapter that goes to the exhaust adapter. I know it's a piece of metal that comes down, so it's hitting those studs. Once I get it spun, it'll drop down, but it's hitting this. Alright, so I'm going to try to take that off first, and we'll be back. Okay, I took the tank off and the oil pump, which I had off anyway, but I just kind of wanted to see where all the hoses went. I still want to probably rearrange these. I just don't like the way they're at. I wish I could see a picture of how, I know they're on right, I just don't know how they are supposed to route. I'll figure it out. But put this plug in for the oil pump, and tank's off, so we should have a little more clearance. Clearance. I'm not jumping for joy yet, though. Who knows? There'll be something else going on here. It's right there. It's got to come up a little bit. Scraping those studs. still gotta go. It's still gotta go another 4 inches. And I don't have 4 inches here. I wonder if I can move it to the side. Don't get any extra going that way. Got a little bit. It's just not enough. If I could drop it right there, I need to move it about that much more. This is ridiculous, guys. I might have to get a longer extension. 4 more inches? I think it'll be fine. So the adjustment I made to my hoist, I backed it off just to be safe when I moved the engine from my bench to the boat, and I forgot to move it back. So I still have extra space here. Hopefully I've got enough. This was my original build, my original extension. All right, how close are we? We're pretty close to those studs. This way a little though. Okay. Raise it up a tad, half a tad. Gotta go. Down a little more. Alright. Man. You don't have a lot of clearance here. The engine's kind of cockeyed. If I can lift this strap a little bit more so it's a little more level, that's what I think I need to do. If it was tilted more, this strap would kind of give it a little more. Gotta go back up. I'm gonna mess with it some more, guys. Yeah, you're not gonna believe this, but this is a pain to put in. There's very little room for error. You can't drop it in this way. You got to come in sideways, and then you actually have to clear the shaft coming up just enough that then you can spin, because there's like a cup in there inside the motor housing or whatever, that you can drop it down a little bit. Then you can spin the engine back, and then you can get it lined up with the bolts in the shaft. And I think I've got it lined up. I'm just gonna slowly set it down. Hopefully it seems to be not binding on anything. A little bit at a time. Oh, catching on something there, dudes. Close. I can loosen this a little bit, but I don't want to loosen it too much. Get my angle down there a little bit. That looks about right. I had to keep messing with that strap. I had it originally so the bottom of the engine was flat, but you can't have it that way because the whatever you call it, propulsion unit plate is tilted like this. So you got to match that tilt so it goes on there perpendicularly. Is that a word? Parallel. Moving. Don't want to just drop it on there and ruin something. Boy, no. See it? Everything's lined up here. No, that's too much. Got too loose. I don't know what it's catching on. Hope it's not this thing. Okay, I had to keep raising it and adjust and turning this thing, put it back down. It was binding. I raise it, turn it a little bit more, put it back down, and it looks like it's engaged with the splines on that shaft. Let's see if it goes the rest of the way down here. Bada boom, bada bing. I think it looks good. Yes. Got it in there. When I bought this boat, this motor was not in it. It was on a bench in pieces. I threw it in the back of my CRV and towed the boat home. It's in there. Just have to put some bolts on. Hopefully it'll run without me having to take it back apart again. Needed that strap to align it. It was just, if you pick it up by this, it doesn't sit right. You have to adjust it. That looks good. Oh, you saw my trick. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Don't do this. Do not do this. Dangerous. For your warranty. But I'm sure this Chinese lift is over-engineered by 1.5, right? So I'm sure. I mean, I tested, I tried to tip it over. Not too hard, but it worked for me. Better than ruining my back trying to lift it. I couldn't lift it anyway. Oh no. This guy. Bolts there still. Gotta torque that down yet to, can't remember, 140 foot-pounds, 120? It's only about 40 right now. I'm happy. Alright. So it's in reverse. It's in neutral. It's in forward. Throttle's low. Throttle's high. It seems like it's sticking there. What is that going on here? Huh. That's kind of goofy. Down. Throttle's on low. Turning it all the way to the left. Turning it all the way to the right. Put it back in the middle. Let's see what that did. I should have been videoing this, but I was having too much fun. This linkage basically snaps in here. Snaps there. Clips on here. And I don't know. Right now I've got it adjusted so full throttle on the lever up there doesn't bind, but if you go back, it just doesn't have enough range. I mean, it's all the way back right now on low throttle, but I'd rather have it. I gotta find a way to adjust it so I don't like the way there's still a little more room to move the lever, and I'd rather have the stop up there than down here if it's possible. So that's on there. Put the fuel pump bracket on, fuel pump. I had to buy a screw locally. I don't like it. I might buy a new cap screw. It's the right size. It doesn't have a shoulder on it. Got these on. This oil line comes out of this gas line from the fuel pump, probably to mix the fuel, but we're not going to do that, so I'm sure I'm going to have to cap that off. It goes up, used to go up to the fuel pump, or the oil pump. So I'll have to plug that. I think I gotta get the directions on how to do the oil delete, but it makes sense to me that this has to be plugged. And this is the gas line coming in, so still have to find my gas line. I don't know where it is, somewhere around here. Just put on this hose. Can you see that? Yeah. It's fun to find out where stuff goes. This thing was just sitting on the bench somewhere. This guy here, pretty sure that's where it goes. Don't know where the other end goes yet. We'll figure it out, but that's where we're at so far. This line was in the bottom of the boat, and this one was all gunked up. It looked like it was rusted, but it's not. It's stainless steel, and it was all crushed. I thought, where am I going to get a new filter? But I just kept bending it with my fingers and straightening it out, and I think it's fine. It's not ripped. Got it cleaned off, and it'll filter water again. So I believe that sits down in the bottom and drains the, what do you call this? The well underneath the motor. Don't know where this side goes yet. I'll figure it out. Does it go to the scupper valve? Does it go to the, I imagine it has to go to the pump. So we'll find out. Looks like UPS or somebody's at the front door. It's the gaskets for my drain plugs in the back. I ordered new drain plugs because these screws, plastic wasn't holding it. You could, whatever the little key that holds it from falling out was broken. So I bought 2 new ones off of eBay, or off of Amazon, and they didn't come with gaskets, so I ordered new gaskets, the exact gaskets from Mercury, or from, I guess, a Sea-Doo part, and the only one I can find was this one company in Connecticut, dealer there, but they only had one. He says they're discontinued, we only have one left, so I guess I'll have to make a new one for the other side. The other side, the one side was cracked right in half, so I'm sure water will get in. It's just rubber, so I know I can make one. I thought, if I don't have to, if I can just order it, it would be easier, but they only had one.